Open up to page 22 in your Chapter 2.5 packet. You've already learned how to distribute, but what we're focusing on now is how to distribute a negative. Now, in this case, there's just a negative on the outside of the parentheses. There's two ways to view this. Some people like to say, oh, that means grandma is -1. And you can go ahead and draw in a -1 if you find that helpful. And then you say -1 times 2x is -2x, and -1 times 4 is -4. Other people just like to think of this as a negative. And a negative outside of the parentheses means change the sign of everything inside the parentheses. So if the grandchildren are both positive, they become both negative. Now let's look at number 2. So in this case, again, we'll do it two different ways. You decide which way you like. A negative means change the sign of both of the terms. The 2x is positive, it becomes negative. The 4 is negative, it becomes positive. Or make grandma -1. -1 times 2x is -2x. -1 times -4 is a positive 4. Okay, number 3. Again, just a negative sort of means do the opposite of what's inside. So if inside's a -2x and a -4, the opposite of that would be 2x and 4. Or we can make grandma -1 and do -1 times -2x is 2x. -1 times -4 is positive 4. Okay? Now, one more. The opposite of -2x and 4. Well, the opposite of that is a positive 2x and a -4. Or, let's make grandma -1. -1 times -2x is a 2x. -1 times 4 is -4. Okay, now, this says 17 minus 7 minus x. So, again, you could just say the minus means change this to negative and this to positive. Or we can make that grandma. Now the 17 stays as it is. -1 times 7 is -7. -1 times -x is plus x. But now I have to combine my like terms. I have a 17, a -7, and an x. So that becomes 17 and -7 is a 10. 10 plus x. Now, for this one, again, two different ways to look at it. I could say do the opposite of 2x, which is -2x, the opposite of -5, which is positive 5. The 3x stays as it is, 3x minus 2x. This becomes x plus 5. Or, if you want, make grandma -1. -1 times 2x is -2x. -1 times -5 is positive 5, and you still get the same answer. Now, number 7. Again, we could do the opposite of 2 is -2. The opposite of -10x is positive 10x. Now I have three terms, 7x, 10x, and -2. 7x and 10x is 17x minus 2. Or I can say make grandma -1 and distribute. So, -1 times 2 is -2, -1 times -10x is plus 10x. And we still get 17x minus 2. For number 8, we have 3x minus 12x minus 10. So, we could do 3x, opposite of 12x is -12x, opposite of -10 is plus 10. Or, we could make grandma -1 and negative 1 times 12x is negative 12x. Negative 1 times negative 10 is plus 10. We have a 3x, a negative 12x, and a 10. The negatives win the tug of war. By how much? By 9. So negative 9x plus 10. Okay. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to try to finish 9 through 14 on your own. And when you're done, so stop the video now, and when you're done, start the video up and see if you got the right answer. So number 9, 3x minus 5x minus 2y. So this becomes 3x minus 5x plus 2y. A 3x and negative 5x is negative 2x plus 2y. Number 10. 5 minus 2 times 3x plus 2. So grandma is a negative 2. Negative 2 times 3x is negative 6x. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. I have a 5 and a negative 4, which is 1, so that's 1 minus 6x. Eight x minus 4, 3x minus 3. Now, remember that grandma's negative 4, so this term, after we multiply, it's going to be negative. This term's going to be positive. So I keep the 8x. Negative 4 times 3x is negative 12x. Negative 4 times negative 3 is plus 12. Combine my like terms. The negatives win by 4. Negative 4x plus 12. Number 12, 6 minus 5x minus 3x minus 4. Now, grandma's negative, so these are going to become positive when I'm done multiplying. 6 plus 15x squared plus 20x. Now, let's think about why this is x squared. Because if I do negative 5x, that's the same as negative 5 times x. And I'm multiplying this by negative 3 times x. So I have negative 5 using the commutative property times negative 3 and x times x. Well, negative 5 times negative 3 is a positive 15. X times x is x squared. That was a pretty tricky one. Now, number 13. 9 minus 2 times 8x plus 3 minus 4x. So, I keep the 9 minus 16x minus 6 minus 4x, comma, comma. So I have a negative 16x, a negative 4x, a negative plus a negative is a greater negative, and a positive 9 and a negative 6 is plus 3. Okay, now it does not matter if you write it as 3 minus 20x, because I have two terms here, a negative 20 and a 3. This is negative 20x and a 3. Then number 14, 3 minus 4 times negative 2x minus 4 plus 2x. So 3 plus 8x plus 16 plus 2x. 8x and 2x is 10x. 3 and 16 is 19.